look at that. You got a Newt's menu. I didn't know. Was that from a couple of recordings ago?
I think from the Think Drink, I think we brought one home.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe before. No, I think it was that day.
Oh, no,
Matt took a photo of the back of the happy hour menu. That's what we don't have. We just have the regular food menu.
Cool.
You ready to start this thing?
No, but let's do it anyways.
Deal. Okay. Welcome to an episode, a unique episode of the Ascertainers. This will be very unique. It will not be like the last one, which we don't remember because we don't... Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
Why do you have to number them? Or
I didn't number it.
Yeah, but you went out of your way.
It'd be easier if I just numbered it. Some number like 11 or some number that isn't a number. Like bajillion.
You should do that. Just pick a number, a random number, and then
69.
Go with it. Oh, you're naughty.
Well, welcome to the 15th edition of episode 69 of the Ascertainers. The Ascertainers are the brainchild of a guy that I used to know named Mark. And
Hello,
he's right
everyone.
there. I'm looking at him.
Wow.
Defend yourself. Tell us why. Tell us what the
why
hell
you
made
like
you want to
me?
do this. No, why'd you want to do a podcast? I mean, everyone does a podcast.
I just want to get together with a friend and drink and enjoy the conversation. And I thought, you know what? If I enjoy it this much, thousands of other people will also.
Thousands.
And I was wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear
totally
this.
underestimated it. It's more like twos of thousands. I say we start acting like we have 1,000 listeners, and then we'll get it. It'll be like one of those motivational things. Don't you think?
Let's go with every download is one listener. So we have almost 2,000 listeners.
Well, I think that's...
In our mind.
Well, in my mind, yeah.
Yeah.
In my half of mine. Yeah, so we're pushing 1,850... Well, see, this is the thing.
That's okay. You just go with it. Don't worry about it.
As of today's recording, the sun has almost hit the earth. If you're hearing this, you've survived. Oh, we did that last episode. Sorry. We did that in a previous episode. See, I just am doomed.
You
doomed,
are.
I say.
It's tough for you to wrap your mind around.
But I will say this, is that when we started this, I thought that we would not have... I thought it would just be you and I listening to it. So we have, I'd say probably, would you say it was like 3 dozen listeners that are regular listeners, or the average of
Correct, yeah.
all the episodes. So I think it's a little generous, but that's cool. So if you listened to us before and you're listening right now, let me give you a heartfelt thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope we haven't kept you from anything more important, like, bathing or, watching the news or something like that. But
I would like to do a shout out to the German listener that is very consistent.
Yeah,
that
very...
please.
Schadenfreude.
We
I don't
have
know what that means. It might
I
be
don't
bad.
either.
I just heard it this week. I think it's bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Guten Tag. Birkenstock.
something.
Is that German?
Birkenstock? Yeah. Is that like the clothing?
It's a footwear.
Is it?
Don't act like you don't know. Yeah.
Don't act like you don't know.
It's a Subaru of sandals. It's the Birkenstock is I think it's German. So anyway, German listener, I'm going to, for the next episode, if you do not send us an email, these are our demands. If you do not send us an email, I'm going to give about 5 minutes of thought, and I will try to describe you to the Ascertainers listeners, and you'll have to just sit there and listen to it.
Wow.
And luckily, now you might have to go to another country and listen to it, so if you go over to Liechtenstein and listen to it, we'll know it's you, because guess what? We don't have any Liechtenstein listeners. Is that still a thing?
It is.
Oh, I shouldn't have given that away, because then it would have been like, come on, now you're just messing with us. Although, if you do that, I would I would consider that the sickest burn ever. It's like, oh, no German listeners this week, but we have this one over here in Liechtenstein. Oh, Liechtenstein. It's so cute. So anyway, I will describe you, and it won't be favorable. So get on it, man. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to... The image of Phil Hartman in the Sprockets segments on Saturday Night Live will come to mind. I'm not sure if you remember Phil Hartman's character on the Sprockets.
I don't.
Like Fever Dream. It's not what our German listener wants. So German listener, the Ascertainers at gmail.com. Go ahead and say, hi, it's me, I'm Dan, or whatever. And I'm a totally normal nuclear scientist. We're not aiming anywhere near your studio. Dogio.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was the third one.
Copyright?
Yeah. Dogio, Rick, or no.
Yes.
Ryan Pervasiveness, Dogio, and, oh, I had it too.
Use your words.
Now I can't remember.
It was just Ryan Pervasive, I think. It was
Ryan Pervasive. I can't remember, but then it was Dick Slaughter. That was the third one.
See, you say it like it's a first and last name. I said Dick Slaughter, like manslaughter.
I heard Dick, and you have paused and said Slaughter.
Well, I guess that's what the guy who can edit the podcast would think, wouldn't he?
And I put that pause in there.
That's what I'm getting at. Dick Slaughter. The K is actually silent. So it's just De Slaughter, German. Prove me wrong, Germany. All right. So a couple things. I turned 60. Everybody knows that I used to be able to make fun of Mark for being older than I, and now we are both the same age, which is 60, which is sad.
So he found other things to make fun of me about.
I guess when they say age is just a number, I guess, I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, I thought I have not yet done what I consider to be the kind of the what's the word when you've reached like the pièce de résistance? Is that a thing? Do you know what you speak? Do you speak jive?
You mean the pinnacle of?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, we'll think of the word later. But when I was a kid, I remember the old guys, and I remember being at a Burger King. Actually, there's two good little things out of this, I think. I was with my dad, and there were people that were older than my dad there. So, I mean, my dad wasn't that old. My dad was probably younger than me as I speak in this story than... so anyway, he was probably 50, and I was probably like 10. And so two things.
That doesn't... The math there is way off.
40? Yeah. He was probably 30. No. 40, 10. Yeah, he was 40 and I was 10. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Carry the two. It's pretty personal.
That would be closer.
Okay there, Johnny Pry. Anyhow, so I'll get to my dad's thing later, which is another great old man thing, but he wasn't an old man yet. But
well, when you're a kid,
so
everyone looked like a...
I know, but the real old guys would do this in a Burger King. They would say, give me a hamburger and a coffee. And I'm like... Have you not seen the commercials? They have fucking Coke. It's like spraying out of the top of the glass. It's so refreshing. And you're getting a fucking black coffee and a hamburger. That sounds like what you eat in jail.
Well, you watch these old westerns and they're drinking coffee. They're out going across the tundra, haven't had any water, and they sit down to eat a meal at night, and they go, do you want some coffee?
Yeah.
Really dehydrated. Yes, I'll take some even more.
Make it hot. Make it hot so it's harder to get in me. Okay, so that's the pinnacle. That's, you read the right word. Pinnacle, titleist. You know, I almost made Mark fucking puke. That's good. Range ball of degrees of being old. And then the other one my dad used to do, which is just, he just didn't keep up with soft drink technology, but he would look deep into the soul of the cashier at the fast food restaurant. If you had looked out of the corner of his eye, he would have seen that it's like a self-serve pop bar, that came into being around the, I don't know, middle of the 80s or whatever. And he would go, yeah, I'll take a Whopper and French fries and a Coke. No ice! And he would say no ice as if they were trying to, put him in a bathtub and take a kidney. And it was like, hey, Pops, that's up to you, okay? Like he thought that was how he was getting, how the man was taking his toll, was that by putting too much ice in his pop. I just thought that was great. We lost my dad a couple years ago. God rest his soul. I'm not trying to make fun of him. I just thought that was a happy memory of watching how out of sorts he got over the ice consumer.
The sad part is our kids are going to have just as many stories about us.
Oh,
if not
that's
already.
Why I want to die early. That's why I want to die right after this podcast. What if I did? No, that would be bad.
But we could do a whole podcast on dad sayings.
Dad shit? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make me pull this car over.
My old man didn't need to pull the car over. One time he took my brother out, my oldest one, who was on this podcast once. No name, Steve. Anyway, I watched him line him up in the mirror. He's probably going 70, probably simultaneously with a wood-tipped White Owl cigar in one hand, the little flat, the little short thermos cup on a knee, scalding hot with no handle, just sitting on his knee. And I don't know what he was driving with, probably his wiener, and or steering with. And then I just watched him as my oldest brother was being a douche. And I'm like, how is he doing? It was probably like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, how he did the reverse engineering of, like, okay, it's the opposite of what I'm seeing. And he whacked him one. It was great. Big cheers from the back of the car on that one. How did we get on this again? Oh, being old.
Yeah, we're talking.
I got it.
You did.
I'm not old.
Usually we're going round and round. What the hell were we talking about?
Rat reference. Speaking of Rat, JT might swing by. I left the door open for him. I hope he does. He's a Rat fan, the band.
Oh, okay.
Round and Round.
I was thinking you were going to bring up Milton Berle. Because we were talking about old gentlemen, and Milton Berle was in the Rat video.
Oh, he was, wasn't he?
He was. Round and Round he was in.
I will say that Milton Berle is one of the best lines in all of comedy. And do you recall that line, or I can recall it?
I think you mentioned it on an earlier podcast.
Yes, Milton Berle was known to be well endowed.
Yes.
And a talk show host who I can't believe is Jay Leno, because that seems the ages don't wind up. But anyway, somebody challenged him to a maybe mine is a little more endowed than yours, and Milton Berle said, that's fine, I'm just going to pull out enough to win. That is such a how is that not one of the most manly comments you can give?
I think he probably had that one in the chamber, so to speak, because it was probably brought up a million times to him.
That seems like the worst thing you
I know, and I was trying to
on deck would be way better than in the chamber.
I was trying to the
Loaded?
Phrasing whole thing. I don't
loaded
know
up?
what
It was poised. It was coiled. Coiled for the strike. Can you imagine having a coil here?
Oh.
I'm sorry. I mean, mine's only 4 inches from the ground. I don't know if that's big or not, but I'm not sure what number of episode this is going to be, but it could be our last. So we have that going for us. We were at Newt's tonight. We love Newt's. We're working on we're hatching a Mark, why don't you tell them what we're working on at Newt's? We have a little project in the works.
Oh, it's just an idea. I don't know if we could ever come to fruition, but
whatever that say. How do you spell fruition? Fruition. If you can dream it, you can do it. So tell us your dream.
I was thinking of videotaping.
No.
I guess I don't.
Burger of the month.
Oh, then I'm way off base on this.
Well, no, I'd love to talk about your other Quentin Tarantino-like idea.
I think we talked about this on another podcast that we would do a monthly special of the.
Did we talk about this one on the last week's
did.
episode? Man, I was real tired that week, I think.
It sounds like it.
The Ascertainer burger.
Yes.
But I've since pitched it, and it has the exact same amount of chance of becoming a thing now as it did before we pitched it.
He was
0.
very nice about saying, Corey, the manager, that
He will seed us so hard. You gave us when your parents said "we'll see." What does that mean?
well, he said, I'm going to try it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And next time we'll see him, he'll say, you know what? I'll try it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
I hope he just says, I tried it. No.
Really?
Actually, I hope he says, I didn't try it. And I was kidding. I was never going to try it. I think it'll be too runny. That's the problem. Who wants a runny burger topping? Was that the name of your band in high school?
I don't know.
The running quarter pounders. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I'm starting to. I'm
was a
going to
kiss.
pull out the megaphone.
There was a kiss. Yeah. Pull out the megaphone. If you pull the megaphone out, that means we failed. We figured out I bought this little child's megaphone to make my laugh now and sound like Rachel Maddow. I've since just realized that's fine. She should change, not me. Or they should change, however that goes. But so I bought this little voice. I went on Amazon. And I said voice disguiser, a real word like disguiser, and it came up with all these like high tech devices and shit. And then this little yellow, like Tweety Bird looking megaphone. I'm like, it's got 6 different things. I'll just get that. It was like $12. And then Mark did what I did. You push the little effect button, and it says what the effect is. And he hit robot. And how did you start talking once?
I started talking like a.
And then there's another one's ghost. It's like, or spooky. Hey! So you just start talking spooky. Here, let's see what the other ones are. I'm not gonna. I know we've proven that you can't talk into it and make it sound good, but let's try this one here.
Robot.
Oh, robot here. I'll do. Oh, here I'll just do how I would talk into it. I am a robot. See, then
Hey,
it
that
sounds
sounds
like
just
a
like a
robot. Isn't
robot.
that weird? I'm not a robot. Hey, don't freak out, everybody.
Spooky.
Spooky. Here's a third one.
Monster.
Monster.
Alien. Try that one.
Ghost.
Ghost. Alien's coming up.
Alien.
I'm an alien. Last one.
Megaphone.
That's not even funny. That's how I always sound. Fucking thing. Kids Lane. My ass. So anyway, that's what's
Megaphone
going on
is the
there. You
best.
want to play the radio game? Because it looks like we're about halfway into the episode.
I would love to play the radio.
So for
game.
those of you who are using this as a, hey, I'll go to bed when the podcast is over, you're going to have to come up with a new excuse not to go to bed. I'm addressing like, school-age children right now. Did you ever do that? Did your parents make you go to bed, or did you just get tired? And I can imagine you just fucking fell asleep wherever you were.
No, I think.
Because you're barely awake on this.
Oh, what? What'd you?
Hey, oh, what the hell? Who am I? Where am I?
Why am I here?
When am I?
Not political, but that is from.
Did
a
you have a bedtime?
debate? I did.
Did
When
you-
I was in grade school.
Did you fight it? Did you just
No.
go to bed?
Yeah.
Did you have your own room, or did you have to share a room?
Shared a room.
With how many?
One.
Okay. And that person was older or younger than you? Older.
Older. My brother. Yeah.
So you had to go in first, or you had to go at the same time?
Boy, I don't remember now.
Okay.
He was 4 years older, so there had to be a different.
You probably didn't have a bedtime.
Well, when we got older, we shared the basement, but we had separate areas of the basement. So
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like you had a room and a bunk bed or something.
when we were tiny, yes, we shared the same room and bed.
Well,
But
it's called a uterus. Oh, you were twins? Okay, well, so technically.
that's a long pregnancy
He
for
was
my
there.
mom.
He was there first. You saw where he slept. You picked your own spot. I get that.
But yeah,
When I was in college, that
you
one
had
time-
a bedtime.
No.
Wow.
Well, I wish if I. Oh my God.
Your grades probably would.
I
have
went
been better.
to 13th and 14th grade after high school, which is known as community college, which is also known as, I was in the Richie Cunningham sorority.
Was that Mankato?
Do you remember?
Community?
No, that was in Rochester.
Okay.
Do you remember Richie Cunningham, what his sorority was called?
No.
Mama, Papa, Sister. Because he lived at home. I didn't have a sister, so it was just Mama, Papa. Anyway, yeah, so then after that, I went to my junior year in college. I went to Mankato with my friend Bruce and Rob and met Greg and a couple other fellows from upstairs. Anyway, the first, month, there was like a guy we lived in a house and there were three. It was meant to be 3 guys in the basement and 3 or 4 guys upstairs. I think it was 4 guys upstairs. Anyway, it worked out that we had 3 guys in my room for the first month because the guy was yet to move out. And I had my own little stupid twin bed box spring on the floor. And then these 2 knuckleheads had a bunk bed. And they were both way bigger than me. And they were in the bunk bed. And one of them had was kind of a talking to sleep kind of guy. And once in a while would have some act out dreams kind of thing. And one night, and he's on the bottom of the bunk bed. And he kicked up and dislodged the top bunk. So I wake up and the guy up top is hanging out for dear life because he was
wow,
45-degree angle down. Yeah, it was interesting. So that was fun for a month, and then it was just me and this other guy for the rest of the month. Or the rest of the 2 years, a little more for me. But anyway, that was a different story.
Yeah, my freshman year, I had 4 people to a room.
So 2 bunk bed
2
situations
bunk beds.
or lofts?
Correct.
Or
2 bunk beds.
I fell out. I was visiting a buddy at Decorah at Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, and I fell out of a top bunk and had that drunk flexibility or whatever where I didn't get hurt. Right now, if I fell out of a top bunk bed, it would be, where do you send the flowers? Because this fucker is dead. I would not survive such a fall.
My brother broke his arm. We were on vacation, and he fell. Him and I were staying in a bunk bed at wherever we were, whatever relative's house we were at. He fell out and broke his arm. He ruined a vacation.
Oh.
I held that against him.
So you couldn't see Mount Rushmore because your brother's compound fractured arm?
He's crying.
What a dick.
Yeah. I thought, what the hell? Come on, man.
Why'd you push him out? Did you think about that?
Well, I told him, you don't want the top bunk.
When he landed, you go, I told you, you mess with the bull. You get the floor. I mean, horns. All right, radio game. I have some legendary picks. Mark, your hand is up.
I think we might have a one-hit wonder type, the same one.
I don't get it.
Because of what happened this week. Okay, we'll go on. I'll just say that we might have the same
All right,
pick.
well, here, I'm going to let you go first on both because I'm going to put one in that is going to be very controversial.
Okay. I'll start with my legacy ones first.
Yes.
I'll go with Boston and Foghat. That's pretty close to a legacy.
Boy, you could go either way on that. I will say that.
Yeah.
But Foghat does get a lot of play. I'm going to go with, and this is probably going to win, and this is actually very Foghat-like, Whitesnake. I was missing a band. They all were coming to me, and actually I was going to say Heart, and then, but in my head I had already committed to, I'm going to ask Sarah from Newt's. We'll get to Newt's in a minute. I said, hey, give me a band for the radio game, because I know she listens. And she was just flabbergasted. She is not a music person, and she started looking at their iPad that they play music on or whatever, and then she just, I get back to her, I go, hey, I need a band still. And she goes, I don't need a Whitesnake. So we got Whitesnake for Sarah.
Excellent pick.
And then my other one, because I'm gonna do the thing that I'm gonna go Eric Clapton, and that might be the biggest waterfall pick of them all.
Yeah, you're going to do Cream.
We get Derek and the Dominoes, Clapton solo, that other one, Cream. Anyway, okay. And then for your one hitters or your lesser knowns,
I'm going to go, because he just passed away, Eric Carmen.
Oh,
And I
about
thought
that
you
earlier.
would pick that.
You know what? I thought about it earlier this week, and then it fell out of my brain.
And then raspberries with that, because he
Well, you would get the raspberries.
Right.
What is the raspberries tune?
go all the way.
Yeah. Eric Carmen, underappreciated talent
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Not a bad song.
No. And the 5-man electrical band,
All right, I like it.
which you haven't said yours.
Well, mine are not neither of those. Mine are 38 Special and a little Canadian product called Saga. On the loose. Tonight I'm on the loose. All right.
But the 5-man electrical band, I'd like to put in there that it was signs
Yeah.
for people.
The Tesla then.
For Pat, because he said talk about the bands and everything. So that's what I was
I'm
throwing.
going to talk about this band. I got a buddy named Ange. I don't think he listens. His name's Andy. We call him Ange. He particularly hates this song.
Good, because I thought it would be Rush.
I don't know how you can hate this song. This guy is like one of my oldest, longest friends, and he hates The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy. I don't know who hurt him, but that is such a good song, and that's what's on the radio right now. Loser, loser, that's us. Losers. Sorry, Sarah.
What's the movie? Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
No, not Beverly Hills Cop. The one with Nick Nolte.
48 Hours.
Don't they do a different version? It's the same.
No, they
Boys-
do The Boys Are Back in Town. That's the Bus Boys. Perform it live at a bar.
Right,
It's
but
The
Thin
Boys
Lizzy
Are Back in Town. No, theirs is definitely unique to that. It's called The Boys Are Back in Town.
and Thin Lizzy.
Oh, wait. Aren't they both called The Boys? Did I just
That's
repeat
what I
myself?
mean. Yeah,
Holy shit.
but they're two different songs.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I know that, but I just said they were.
I don't think that the busboys said, well, this chick, she got up in Johnny's face. Man, we just fell about the place.
I think one of them is just the boys are back, and one of them is boys are back in town. But I'm guessing at that.
Well, that little fodder for next time. Little brain candy for the listener.
Wow.
I think there's 2 or 3 of them probably by now. So, all right, radio game is up where we were going to do a topic, and we thought we would do, and this is a great amount of time to do it in. Did you want to talk about like any music you listened to this week? Because I listened to a little music this week that I thought was just, as long as it were a music podcast. There was a band that caught my attention, and I listened to a few of their songs, and I'm like, you know what? These guys have 1, 2, 4 like songs that pretty much people know, but no one talks about them. Would
Go
you like
ahead.
to know who it is?
I would love
I'm
to.
going to tell you the songs. Going the Distance, Never There, Short Skirt, Long Jacket, and then a cover of I Will Survive. Those are
Yes.
kind of the big ones.
I know the ones you're talking about, but I can't think of them.
I'll just say it like this. She's Going the Distance.
Yeah. Yes.
Cake. Cake had such a refreshingly don't give a fuck sound. I mean, you'd be listening to the song and it's like, yeah, I like the beat, I like this. All of a sudden, why is there a whole horn section going off right now? Because that was not native to the time. Native's not the right word, but that was not the in the zeitgeist. Heist. Hey, Germany, we're still looking at you. Call us, the Ascertainers at gmail.com.
What's the rock and roll?
Rock and roll lifestyle?
Yes.
Is that Cake?
That's Cake.
Oh my God, that's probably one of their first hits.
I love that song.
I get them confused with the presidents of the United States of America, though. That would be Lump and Peaches.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, Cake. Are they Seattle too, or they seem like they were Pacific Northwest of
They might be. I'm
some
not sure.
ilk?
I thought they were from the Front Range, but they might be. I thought first they were from Boulder, but might not be.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Front Range?
Yes.
What the fuck does that mean?
That means like the Colorado Springs, Denver, Boulder,
Oh,
Fort Collins area.
Mountain Snob much?
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy.
Are they not from the Willamette? You douche.
That was a douchey thing I said.
Were they?
I apologize.
That's,
But us people from
are
the
they
Front
from
Range,
the? No, I think they're from the Beauforties. The Bofides? Are you familiar? Bofides nuts? Sorry, man. Everyone's heard that one. I thought another music thing that came up. I heard the song. The song is An American Dream. Wildlife, An American Dream, drinking.
Would I have heard it?
It sounds just like Jimmy Buffett, but it's not Jimmy Buffett. It's a yacht rock classic.
Oh.
And you know what it's done by? It's done by a band called the Dirt Band. And do you know what they used to be called?
The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
What happened where they're like, hey, we got to change our name. We're the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. We've got to change it up. We've got to make changes.
Were they really the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was just
And
guessing.
it's like, well, let's see. Well, we got to lose two of the words. Let's see. Which ones are the ones that we're going to want to keep? Well, let's keep Dirt Band for sure. Because Nitty Gritty is just, ew. No, I mean, what the fuck? That's the most odd band name change ever. They didn't improve the name of the band.
I did not know that Nitty Gritty dropped the Nitty Gritty.
Okay, if I'm lying, I'm dying. But why would a band just go, hey, we're the Dirt Band?
Right.
Do you think maybe it was like Better Than Ezra? You heard how that started, right?
I don't.
There's a band in New Orleans called Ezra, and then there was this other band, like just a garage band, and they're like, what's your name? Well, we're Better Than Ezra. And they went with that, and they had a hit.
Oh, man, we should have named our thing Better Than Joe Rogan.
Better
or
than
something like that.
Oh, Mr. Rogan, I hope you don't know Mr. Browner, come over here and thump us. Joe Rogan would not be a good guy to mess with because he's like a MMA guy now.
Yeah,
I mean, you could probably take him, but I don't like my chances.
he could find us down here.
What's that, Joe Rogan? Mr. Audie J. Rogan. Mark says he doesn't think he thinks he can take you.
It's only going to be a problem.
So Mark's the tall one. I'm the one that you don't want to beat the shit out of. I'm Jim. With a G. It's like Joe, except for different.
It's only going to be a problem when we both have that Sirius XM contract.
Oh, I doubt you'll get it. I'll get it. But anyway.
Oh, I thought they would kick him off, and when they
It'd
signed
just be
up.
you and I solo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could happen. A lot of shit happens. I did happen to look up. We've talked about Mr. Browner an unusual amount. Like the per podcast Joey Browner mentions are, it's got to be up there with any podcast other than if Joey has his own.
It's up there with Steve Miller.
Yeah, but we speak of Joey Browner respectfully at all times.
We do. I was just mentioning the amount of times
clip of the guy for the Denver Broncos that he. So I watched him on a podcast. So he did a podcast a year ago. So the two things that happened today. One is
was he on Steve Atwell's podcast? Denver Bronco.
It was a guy named Steve, but it wasn't. These weren't football players. It was.
Okay.
It was like three names, and one of them was like Steve Stein and something else. But anyhow, well, they were showing Joey Browner footage, and they showed he tackled a guy.
Oh, he was
So he fell as he's tackling this guy at the goal line and snapped his, whatever the shin bone is. This guy's leg was on backwards. And all he said, he goes, all I saw is he was a number 47 like me, and I fell and I grabbed him, and he goes, I hope the NFL paid him for like pain and suffering or something like that. He was very businesslike about what he said. I mean, he wasn't like being a dick, but when you watched, he just had. And he played. You know where he played college?
No.
SC.
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
and he was talking about how he was on the same team with like Bruce Matthews. I think Ronnie Lott was there. I mean, it was like
Wow,
a loaded team. There were other Hall of Famers, and they actually were talking a little bit about, that he has Hall of Fame considerable stats. I wouldn't know. I'm not a big NFL guy, but he had like 9 Pro Bowls or 5 Pro Bowls out of 9 years.
No,
or something.
he was.
Yeah, and where did he finish his career? I didn't know this.
Seattle.
Tampa.
Oh, I thought it was Seattle.
I think it's Tampa.
You're probably right.
So I started to think twice. Anyhow, I looked him up on Facebook also, and we have one mutual friend. Who do you think that friend is?
You showed me, and that it was who you said it would be.
Andy
Yeah.
G. Andy, I know you listen. Maybe sometime we can have you and Mr. B stop by. I definitely want to have Andy on. We got to have Abe on first, so out of
you should
respect.
say it like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I definitely want Andy on. Well, we probably could have Abe on.
No. Oh, if that's what it sounded like, I didn't mean it like that. There's.
Oh, you meant Browner.
What I'm saying is this. is
Mr.
that
Browner.
We have a neighbor named Abe who everybody loves. Everybody loves. We want to have Abe on. We've invited Abe on. Abe has had he's conflicts, so he couldn't come on.
Yeah, that he hates us.
Well, that could be the one that gets us to the end. But Abe's brother-in-law is a guy named Andy, and Andy is like a really plugged-in guy. He knows Joey fucking Browner. He's friends with Joey Browner. Mr. Browner.
Mr. Browner.
Mr. effing Browner. Joey Browner has a foundation. It's with like at-risk kids, so we would really have to clean up you would really have to clean up your language if we had him on.
Joey, Mr. Browner, reminds me of Charlie Waters for the Dallas Cowboys. Charlie was kind of the original safety that was hard-hitting. He was always the one, no matter the weather, he wore a short-sleeve shirt.
Okay.
And he would hit you.
Do you remember his number? He wasn't 25, was he?
43,
Oh, 40,
I believe.
there it is. Okay.
So I always thought Joey Browner, Mr. Browner, to the rest of you,
Mr. Browner, if he's coming over.
was like that Charlie Waters.
All I know is, he was, I'm sure, the source of many nightmares of any of his opponents because, wow.
If you ask Harrison Smith, I bet he knows a lot about Joey Browner.
I mean, honestly, no disrespect to Harrison Smith, who's also invited, open invitation to the podcast. I don't even see those guys. I mean, I know they play the same position, and statistically they line up. But if I just thought Joey Browner was far more like intimidating than Harrison Smith. I don't know. They both hit like fucking cement trucks, though. So
You're right. Harrison is more of mind person. He's more of
I just don't.
throwing you off.
He's physically gifted, but Joey Browner was freakishly gifted.
Yes. Harrison is more trying to get in the head of the quarterback by moving around and.
Well, I don't know that Joey Browner did not do that, but I'm saying that from a highlight reel, like how many times you go ooh, like when you see a fucking
Right. Yes, I know what you're trying to
train. It's like
I know what you're saying.
You make more of those noises watching Browners than Harrison Smith's, but now I got two guys that want to kick my ass. How's that going to work out?
Although I did just watch a clip of Paul Krause's interception.
Number 22. Does he still hold the record all time?
Oh, yeah, 81. I don't think anyone will ever break that.
Who's close?
No one's even close.
All right. Well, maybe I could suit up. It's not too. I'm 60. I could walk on. I walk off all the time. So that was my Nova Scotia accent. Do you know how they talk?
I don't.
I bet when they say whack off, it sounds like walk off. That's just my point.
Never talked to someone and that from Nova Scotia, but even if I did, I don't think that would come up in the conversation.
See, Freudian slip right there. I think that's all you would talk about. It's like, it's cold up here. What do you guys do? I could tell you, or I could show you. I think we had a thing. I think that
I think we still have a thing.
Yeah, and let's just save that thing for the next thing. Because
I thought between us.
What I'm looking at, that thing? That's probably going to go away with some antibiotics. Don't worry.
No, I was going to bring up something totally different.
Oh,
we can keep that thing in the box.
Well, we had a theme for the episode in mind, but luckily we A, didn't broadcast it, and B, never got to it, so we could probably do a second one tonight and exclusively talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to bring up...
But do you want to save what you're going to do for the next, or you want to...
No, this is a really quick.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking that we might add something to our podcast with the radio game. Maybe new music once in a while.
Okay.
Something that, I guess, new music to either one of us.
So not to play, but to talk about, like, kind of... Well, that's what I...
Well, you brought up cake.
I try to do with... and it wouldn't necessarily... We could do new music, or we could just like, hey, what'd you listen to this week that you think people should know about? I think that's whether it's new or just new to somebody.
Well, that's what I'm
Like a
saying.
Craigslist snowblower.
Something new to me.
That's
You were
new.
listening to Cake this week. and
Yes.
So, and
I have some new music to talk about, but a lot of my new stuff will be like local stuff that nobody really gives a shit about, unless we can turn one person onto it and they tell two friends, and
Well,
so on.
if you bring up new music, like I would bring up, this is old, but something like Flamin' O's. We brought up before, but
Yes.
just to get it out there,
Oh.
it's a local.
Oh, fun fact. Run Westy Run, is that the band you were telling me about earlier?
Oh, I was going to bring that up, yeah.
Do you know about their show coming up?
No,
They are playing at Palmer's Outdoor. You know where Palmer's is?
I don't.
Not a great part of town. East Cedar, Riverside. Palmer's Bar inside. The stage in that bar is like it's like an optical illusion. It's shoved into a corner, and it looks like kind of like a freak show thing. It's like a triangle shaped stage where I don't know how they get a drum set and two other people on it. But anyway, they also have an outdoor. It's like the back parking lot or whatever. But the Scarlet Goodbye, which is the newest project from Danny Murphy and a guy named Jeff, I think Arundel, I think is how he pronounces it. They played Panaprog once on my stage. They have the song called the Legend of Mary Jane. No, the Ballad of Mary, something about Mary Jane. Fuck. Anyway, look up the Scarlet Goodbye and the Mary Jane, and it's one of the most trippy fucking songs you'll ever hear. Anyway, they're playing with Run Westy Run, and we're going.
Just to go back to that, we didn't cover it on the podcast. We talked about it after the last podcast, but I was listening to Run Rusty Run, Milkway's Mainframe.
Is that the new album they came out with 30 years after their last album?
Yeah,
That's a pretty cool story,
that
too.
song's on there. I don't know if that's
They
the
call them
name
the
of it.
Comeback Kids.
Because they started in 1985.
Yeah.
And
That's
they were kind
40
of
years. That's 40 years ago.
they remind me of Velvet Underground.
As long as it's not the Velvet Revolver, we got to fight about that.
No. I would never bring that up again. I never. I will never say that again.
How come you wrote it on the whiteboard? And by the way, that whiteboard is also known as my wall. That's permanent
I
marker.
told you to buy a whiteboard.
All right. Well, so what's today's lesson? Well,
Don't listen to
No,
podcasts.
we didn't get to the thing though. Oh, was the thing you want to talk about the new music or what are you listening to? I thought there was also a documenting of said affair. I think we should talk about that to open the next one.
We can.
All right. I think that makes sense. I mean, you tell me. You got the clock right there.
Okay, I'll tell you. Do what I say, Jim.
Yes, Sensei.
No, I would like to thank you for listening to our podcast, and I'd like to thank Newts.
It's not that big a deal. I'm right
For-
here. Oh, you're talking to the others.
I am.
Or-
Who are these people?
Oh, you're talking to Pat. Hey, Pat. Put some pants on, Pat.
I don't think we ever mentioned her name. I think I'll take that out. But
Audie S. Oh, no one's going to. There's how many. Anyway, you're fine.
But anyways, get a hold of us at the Ascertainers at gmail.com. And we also have a Facebook page. You could comment, like it, make comments about how bad we are.
I think if you I think it's like and follow or whatever. Sometimes we'll put like a sound bite out, like a little 30-second clip, and then
A
you'll
reel,
know that
yeah.
there's a new episode out, and that would be cool if you did that because we don't get paid for this other than our new sponsorship, which is a liquid donation. That sounds worse than getting a free beer. Anyhow, we.
Thank you, Corey.
Other than our exclusive Newt sponsorship, which we very much appreciate, in the form of a 16-ounce ice cold frosty glass beer from Newt's, which we didn't talk about this episode. Other than we didn't really endorse them. We talked about how we might get we're lobbying to get an Ascertainers burger. But if you like a beer or a pop and a good burger, sandwich, fish taco, whatever you like, go to Newt's, please. Tell them the Ascertainers sent you. Oh, if you like and follow us, all we get out of this is just total, right now I think we have 38 followers or whatever. Something on Facebook. Let's try to get that to 39. You know who you are. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
For all those that do listen, thank you. And
the other ones, do it.
We'll see you next time.
Just tell your friends to do it. Do it.
Bye.